The following program is sponsored by The Greek, Ely's Radio Shack dealer at 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by Georgetown Media in Ely, Nevada. White Pine County Commission meeting, April 27th, 2022.
I saw signs down in Lund.
2 seconds.
Yeah,
Flashing ones.
those are nice, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
And you didn't buy them.
No, they were put there by Enda. So we had a meeting and here, I don't know, it was a couple months back.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Good, I was just sorry about your sister.
Huh?
How much they pay?
I don't know, but we agreed to maintain them if they would install them.
She
So,
suffered with COPD
Huh?
for like 6 years.
yes, the county.
All of my
So.
brothers and I talked to her that, but she knows it was time. And she was honestly, but, she lived a really good life, very successful woman, but, it just got her, and she, she didn't have to go to the hospital, she had a brain the whole time. But, she got to die at home, she died in bed, she died in her sleep, so, can't have more than that. And she talked to all of us 2 or 3 times from Saturday to Sunday, and she died in her sleep.
And first sibling you've lost since the war, right?
No, but yeah.
Since Stephen?
Yeah, 6 are still alive.
Yeah.
But, she was the oldest, but kept everything together, very, very, very good.
Well, if you need help with
Yeah,
anything,
no. And that picture that, was that in the paper? That's in it. Yeah, there was a picture of her, that was, she's pretty old.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's too bad, but she, 6 years, did not have a very, wake up, get the woman out of bed. She lived with a 24/7, every day, no oxygen, so. Anyway, it was sad, but it was fun.
I think Lori and Mike are still talking.
Oh, okay, yeah, I think you should start with that. Okay, good morning and welcome to the Wednesday, April 27th, regular scheduled meeting of this White Pine County Commission. Would you all please stand and join us in the pledge? And Elizabeth, why don't you do it today?
Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, as is normal, we'll take this first moment for silence, meditation, prayer, whatever you'd like. So the first moment will be your silence. Okay, we'll go into the meeting, and the first item on the agenda is public comment. Do we have any public comment on the phone this morning? Mike, do you see any? Anybody in the audience with public comment? Is there anybody in the building that would like to speak? It's open, come on in. Please come forward and speak.
Jim Allred, I'm here on behalf of Lund County Council. A month ago when I was here, we were talking about liaison. Excuse me. I'd just like to say 4 years ago, 6 years ago, 8 years ago, the Lund County Council relied on the liaison a lot. We got a lot of information from that person. They helped us in a lot of ways, and I just feel like, maybe that should be considered what we were talking about a month ago. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the building? George, come on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, on your agenda item 1B5, I did not see any mention of a victims fund. This commission needs to address that issue. Paying public officials to file reports, not gonna get it. I want restitution for the matters that I brought up before you for years. Mr. Chairman, I attended the Regional Planning Commission meeting on April 20th, 2022. The commission continues to ignore the pleas for those that have difficulty hearing. The county has spent thousands of dollars on a PA system that is not properly used. The system was set up, but the blind was not turned up. I asked the board chairman to speak up, but to no avail. Commissioner Lori Carson was sitting not more than 4 or 5 feet away from the speaker, right back here. She couldn't hear. She failed to say anything to anyone until the meeting was adjourned. You need to replace her with someone with a little more authority. You gotta be a little stronger, Lori. That's what I did.
Thank you, Chair.
That's quite all right. That's what I'm here for. At that meeting, I addressed the chairman and read some of the minutes of March 16, 2022. Mr. Tim Vidrine had stated he had a general service person license to do installations. I've never heard of such a license. Who issues it? What type of work is allowed under that license, such as building setup, water, sewer, and electrical hookup? The minutes stated that there were 2 septic tanks on the property in question. Who approved the request? Who inspected the installation? Is Mr. Vidrine licensed to install septic systems? Why was the Nevada Administration Code 444.758 to 820 not followed? Basically states that if one's property line is within 400 feet of water and sewer service, one must connect. Who approved the installation of the septic or septic tanks? When was it put on any agenda? There was also concern brought up regarding spot zoning. I remind you what the Planning Commission did to Cal Ranch for their request of rezoning. The Appasechi Trailer Park, which was grandfathered for decades, is now closed. Yet you continue to look the other way with the Planning Commission, as well as you folks, and those that you appointed. Continue to look the other way with Keith Carson's Trailer Park, which has only 1 trailer, 3 or 4 modular homes, numerous RVs from time to time. The city had the sheriff issue me citations for parking on RVs, motorhomes, or modular homes on my property, and I had to evict 4 different individuals. To this date, others all around my property are parking RVs, motorhomes, and modulars without suffering any consequences, nor have they applied for any variance. I haven't missed very many meetings. This commission has also failed to give those people from Baker that protested the zone change back on December 15, 2021. The opportunity to have their protest reviewed by the county commission is allowed by county code. This commission cannot discriminate and selectively enforce county, city codes under law, color of law. I support Mr. Vidrine, but unfortunately he picked the wrong location. The taxpayers have invested millions in the industrial park, which is also including water and sewer service hookups, which are available.
Okay, George, that's your 3 minutes. Thank you very much.
I'll be back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the audience with public comment? Anyone else on the phone? Last call on the phone. Is there anyone on the phone with public comment? Hearing none and seeing none, we'll move on into the meeting. Today's meeting, we start with the 9:15, which we're ahead of. So we're gonna move forward and go on to page, I think it was page 5.
We have a 9 AM BCT update.
We do have a 9 AM?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see that, I saw 9:15, but
That's right, let's go.
my mistake. So we'll go back, and there is a 9, oh, there it is, I'm sorry. There is a 9 o'clock on page 2. Notice untimed items, 9 AM BCT update. Item 1 is discussion update, quarterly report on information technology from Business Continuity Technologies, BCT, Melvin Chapman Jr. and Manny Rosales. Manny, come forward.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen on the board and everyone else in attendance. As you can see that Melvin is not in attendance with me today physically, and I don't think I see him on the conference or on the phone. As this year, as you've known, Melvin has taken on responsibility as CEO of BCT. As he continues to realize his responsibilities, he has been delegating those responsibilities out to the rest of us, and as we grow with BCT. So, as you see me today, I guess I am the man in charge. I didn't sign up for this, I'm a technical guy, but I will do my best. As you can see, the slideshow is the usual updates and everything. Beautiful new Justice Center. And of course, as an update, everyone probably heard by now that the new dispatch office in the sheriff's office has been fully renovated. It's already done, fully functional, moved in. Can you hear me now?
It was unmuted before we started, I just want to point that out.
So we'll review the numbers for the first quarter of 2022, and of course, as Melvin likes to point out, we'd like to give you a couple of tips and pointers from an IT perspective. So for the first quarter of 2022, we closed out 151 tickets, utilized 304 man-hours. If anyone has any records of these slides and past reports, as you can see, the trend of numbers of tickets and hours is still about the same. As I said, new dispatch office renovated, fully functional, moved in. I checked in with them yesterday. They're perfectly happy. Now, Scott, you have a comment on that? Moving forward, we have submitted a proposal for new equipment to the county. We have been given an estimated budget, and we are working to prioritize what equipment needs to be replaced first. So we are still in the process of putting together a new quote with numbers and the necessary items needed for necessary equipment to be replaced within the estimated budget from the finance office. At the same time, it says here, yes, Melvin wanted me to touch on that we are moving forward and growing our business, where that one of the things that White Pine County might be interested in is we are partnering directly with Avaya themselves, no third-party vendor. We are going to be trained to sell and actually support ourselves directly. Avaya's new voice over IP system, shall we say, internet phones, where that a centralized server and equipment won't be necessary on-prem, on-site in the county. If you decide to go that way, we'll be open to sharing information and giving demos once we're actually trained on our side. As usual, our usual services stand with backups, data recovery, WatchGuard security at the front gate, at the entrance of the fiber at the new Justice Center, Albert Sensor, things like that. Reports from our security system on WatchGuard, everything is within parameters, no red flags have shown up. As you can tell with the tickets that come in and some emails that come in, of course, hackers and people are getting smarter and trying to get emails through and trying to have you click on things and give up your information. But as we always say, please be diligent and check your emails to see if emails you get are really from people from the county, if it's from outside, and make sure that whatever email that you see or information you click on is complete. I know that short story, one of our customers asked me to review something because they couldn't contact this potential customer. It looked like a potential customer, but when we reviewed it, it came from iCloud.com, first flag. Second, signature wasn't real, didn't look right, and then very incomplete information as to some kind of business request. So like I said, like we always try to say, please be diligent. Backups and data recovery, our Dado says everything is clean, everything is up to date. Even though, just to report, we did have a small little hiccup with the AC system in the central IT room over in the Justice Center. After that was resolved and everything else, we brought back up and caught up over the weekend, over last weekend actually. Virus is blocked, as you can see here, everything's been detected. Nothing, no red flags on the firewall or on the computers themselves. And here's just basically the same thing as to, this just basically shows the activity as to what the WatchGuard is actually doing. Even though you see high numbers there, that means it's actually doing its job. If there was any red there, then we would be in trouble. There's no red, as long as you see everything, even though you see high numbers there, it is doing its job. And here is the Albert sensor from the state as they're monitoring our county's internet traffic. No red flags over the last 12 months. And then just the main review here, 300 man hours between the IT team here at the White Pine County themselves and DCT, 151 tickets in the first quarter. So that's pretty much it for our review on numbers and everything else. I gave you quick updates. The one thing that I wanted to bring up really quickly as to being diligent. One thing that, a short story, I'm a techie geek, okay? I like sci-fi. And anyone here ever watch Knight Rider? Remember Knight Rider, kid with the smart car? So 25 years ago, I was a tech at AT&T, and my best friend and I said, we gotta build this ourselves. We gotta put a PlayStation, a computer, and everything in the car. You know, but this is 25 years ago. You can watch movies and everything. Everything's on your phone now. You know, you can actually do stuff with your car on your phone, if your car's new enough. But that's the one thing that we never notice. Keys, wallet, phone, glasses, phone. Oh, I'm naked without my phone. Even though your phone is attached to you and it's right there, it is as vulnerable as your own computers, the servers, anything that's hooked up to the internet. There's one thing that we don't notice, especially if some of us, like myself, and probably half of you in this room, you get work emails on your phone. It's the same thing as on your computer. If you click on an email that might be suspicious, your phone is just as vulnerable. One thing I noticed also on my girlfriend's phone, she likes playing these free games. You know, you always get the commercials, and okay, now I gotta wait 5 seconds and then continue my game. But the one thing I noticed also on her phone, when I just, let's see what's on it. Not that I'm nosy, but you know, did you download this? No. How about this one? No. That's the one thing I've noticed recently myself that no one's ever advertised, is that some of these free games and the way of spam and the way of everything else is that if you download something free, right now what I've seen is 50% chance that program is partnered with somebody else. They'll download another program just for you to click on it, just for you because you're curious. And to do that might open you up to spam. So that's the one thing that I would definitely review on your phones if you play on your phones, or maybe even on your kids' phones if they do games on there and things like that. Anything unknown on your phone, to be totally honest, you know, if you know it's not email, if you know it's not your messages, go ahead and delete it just for safety. And today, that's my personal tip for everybody. And I think that would be it. As usual, you know, we continue to strive for excellence, responding to everyone's concerns at through BCT, the phone lines and emails, and to service you as much as we can, best we can. Hopefully, we're meeting your expectations, and you know, we look forward to continuing this lovely relationship. Anything else? Any questions, comments from anybody?
Anybody on the commission got a question, Manny? Anyone? I don't think so, but we really appreciate your report, and you're coming here every quarter and giving us an update, and Melvin as well, so thank you very much, and we'll move on with the meeting. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we're at the 9:15 and page 2. This is a special joint county commission and fire commission meeting. First item in this special meeting, part of the meeting, is public comment again. Is there any public comment on the phone? Anybody on the phone? Mike, do you see anybody? Hearing none. Anybody in the audience with public comment? Anyone? George, you got any public comment here? Oh, I'm sorry. You have public comment?
I might, I'm here for the property rezone. Is there gonna be time for comment then, or?
Yeah, there will be.
Yes, public hearing.
Okay, so George, do you have anything to add?
I do.
I'm surprised. Thank
You shouldn't be, you know me well now.
you. You're right.
Mr. Chairman, the stop sign located on the corner of Avenue D and Highway 93 that was knocked down for almost a month, the sign has been put back up. However, it apparently has been hit again because it's now leaning to the west. I'm still waiting for your written response in regards to the ingress egress where Avenue D accesses Highway 93. The ingress egress does not meet minimum street width standards, nor is there any proper ADA compliance for the handicap. I've yet to receive any information from you or your fire chief. We need to resolve that situation. It is not good. It's going from bad to worse. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did I tell you how stiff this gooseneck is?
No, you didn't.
I'm telling you now, you need one that's a little more flexible. Thank you.
Mike, you got?
We did have a gooseneck that did come in. Unfortunately, the gooseneck that we have has to be drilled into the podium. I met with Lori Romero this morning and talked about it. we need to find a different one so it does not screw into the podium. I just want to make that noticed.
Put it on the platform.
And we'll discuss it, but they did order it, so, okay, thank you for that. All right, so we're gonna go into, we're in the joint county commission, fire commission meeting. And we're doing public comment, last call for public comment on the phone. Hearing none, last call in the audience, seeing none. Move forward, item 1 is discussion for possible action, the approval of a 1-year health insurance renewal for FY 2023 through Anthem Blue Cross with an increase in rates not to exceed 5% as outlined in the backup, or may be presented at the commission meeting. Jeff Hyde or Lindsay Wanless, Levitt Group, also Elizabeth Francis and Mike. Is anybody here from the Levitt Group? Please come forward, state your name.
Good morning, and I'm Lindsay Wanless from the Levitt Group. Do you want to say anything, or do you want me to?
I did hand out a new health insurance update for you, and I will let Lindsay tell you what that's about.
All right, so when we got the renewal back in a couple months ago, 6 weeks ago, it started at 12.56, and I was like, no, I didn't really like that number. I told Elizabeth, if anything's over 10, I'll go back to Anthem, and we will see what we can negotiate. They brought it down to a 5, and in a previous meeting between Elizabeth and Mike and Jeff, who's not here, they talked about between a 0 and a 3%. I'm throwing that out there, I wasn't there, so. And so we looked at we talked to our underwriter at Levitt Group and looked at claims, and we got the medical renewal to a 3% for the next year, for 2022 to 2023. Emeritus, which is the dental, and then MetLife is the vision. And then we also have Lincoln for the life insurance, that all remained flat. So that would be in your backup packet, so the first packet that Elizabeth gave to you guys. And so that is where we stand on the medical, dental, vision, and life insurance renewal for this year.
Okay, and it looks to me like we're doing the 3 items almost at once.
Oh, sorry, I
That's
combined
okay.
them all.
Yeah,
That's
so we
okay.
can, you can open,
Okay.
all the items.
Because you mentioned the
Sorry.
items, I will open those up now. So I'm gonna open to include items 2 and 3. Is 4 included in that?
Yes.
Yeah.
2, 3, and 4.
Is this also in the regular commission meeting?
Yeah, so item 2 addresses the dental increase. Item 3 addresses the vision. And item 4 addresses the life. Is that good enough, James?
Yes.
Okay, so.
Sorry for jumping ahead.
That's okay, that's okay. And I'll need to open the rest, so let's just proceed.
We don't mind getting done faster, it's okay.
Okay. Is that it for what you
That's all I have
got?
to say.
Elizabeth or Mike, would you guys like to address it?
Extraordinary rate, given what's happening right now in the economy, so Levitt Group has worked really diligently to get
Absolutely.
us here.
Yeah, I'm really impressed that we could pull that off.
Yeah.
Or they could pull that off. We didn't do it. Yeah.
So Elizabeth, you got anything to add?
Nope, I'm happy with this renewal. They started above 10, they came back with 5. I said we talked about 3, they went back one more time, they got it down to 3, so I'm very happy with that.
Good work.
Sounds good to me.
On all
So-
boards.
I'll make the motion to approve B1, 2, 3, and 4 as written.
Okay, a motion by Travis,
Second.
second by Lori. Lori was pretty fast there. Any other discussion by the commission? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Passed unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
today,
much.
guys.
We should be
Thank
back
you,
for
Lindsay.
helping with the re-enrollment.
On May 9th and 10th.
May 9th and 10th.
Okay, excellent. We are still under the 9:15 timed item, and we're down to number 5. Number 5 is discussion for possible action, the direction or approval related to revenues and expenses in the FY 2023 budget for all funds and departments, including the commission, county manager, and every other item as presented. So Elizabeth or Mike, would you, or either one of you like to address this?
Sure, I'll start out, and I'm sure Mike will jump in here. So we just got the health insurance renewal, and I did budget that at 3%, so we're good, because that's where we came in at. But the property liability, I believe, unfortunately, is going to go up more than anticipated, and that is a matter of market. We'll see how our experience plays into that. They just had the full board meeting for pool impact to determine those regs, and they did go up. So it's looking like 8% for packed, and it's, yes, 8% for packed. That has to do primarily with the tail end of large claims that are being paid out. Those particular members who were members of the pool are no longer members of the pool, but because they were insured at the time of the claim, we are still responsible as a pool to cover those tail ends. And then property and liability is a matter of market, as well as you know that this I planned for, our insurance on the Justice Center didn't start until October, because that's when we brought it online, that's when we actually had to start insuring it. So I did plan for that increase for a full year on the Justice Center, for the FY '23 budget, but that's going to go up. Because the rates are going to go up. And so we will see how that plays out. I do have an email in for Ellen Reed to go ahead and get me a firm number, and I should have that by May 11th to go ahead and have that finalized in your budget. And of course, that hits all the other funds because we allocate insurance to the special revenue fund as well. And then there have been some additional requests to go ahead and look at some increases for next year's budgets. One of them has to do with search and rescue. We are getting more people participating in search and rescue, and there is a potential to see an increase in what we spend to support those folks, radios.
This is all tentative. The sheriff is still working with the search and rescue sergeant, but I just wanted to at least put on the radar that there may be some changes coming.
Yes, and so these are not definites, but things that, the insurance is definite, we need to look at that. These are things that have been asked that we look at as we move forward from tentative to final. And we'll have a better idea of, hopefully, once before we go to final, as to what this year's net proceeds will be, because that will impact how much additional funds may be available for these one-time things, radios and that type of thing. The economic development was cut back in the tentatives, so taking that back to $1 million, so that we have that fund really set to go. One of the things I'd like to look at also is putting some match money in for grants for next year. If we do get additional net proceeds of money under economic development, it would be nice to have a line item specifically for grant matches. So as we move forward and we find good grants, we will have that money available to provide the matches as necessary. It's been brought to my attention that we have a potential issue with the property for the community services building. So we may need to do some appraisals next year. So we may need to put in some money for miscellaneous appraisal costs to take a look at that. And then there is concern about some trees around the courthouse that are beginning to lean, and it may be necessary to take some of those trees down in the interest of public safety. So some additional money may be needed there. And then, let's see, did I cover everything? There is one other issue that we're having, and this has to do with recruitment of new personnel. And one of the things that we may want to consider as a county, because I know that the mine does this, is to have an available home that someone who's moving in from out of the area can utilize for a number of months when they get here until they can find a place. Because right now the market is very difficult for someone moving here to find a place if they're moving in from out of town. So just a thought for consideration.
Yeah, Elizabeth, are you talking about having the county own a home so that that can be utilized in that way?
Yes, yes. Similar to what the mine does. The mine, I don't know if they
Some of
use
the
apartments
insurance
or
companies
homes
used
or.
to do
Yes.
that type of stuff, if they're, fire damage to help
I mean, once
that
we
interim.
move forward and we have more homes on the market and we're not so
I think that's
tight,
actually a good idea.
it might not be necessary, but right now, it's just very hard, and if you're trying to attract talent from out of the area, you have to have some place they can sit. So
Might
just a thought.
Might even look into a duplex.
Something.
Yeah, anything really that's clean and safe.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
But we have to